Hi there, I'm Shane Spears and welcome to another edition of Summit Scale, beaming out to you from the beautiful city of Bath in the UK. My guest today is Peter Sage. Peter, a very warm welcome. Great to have you on our show.
Absolute pleasure, Shane. Great to be here. Thank you for the invite.
For those of you that don't know him, Peter is a leading and well-known international serial entrepreneur with over 20 startups to his credit, some of which, such as the energy fitness brand, have grown into global success stories. He was named one of the greatest leaders and entrepreneurs of 2015 by Inspiring Leadership Now, alongside Sir Richard Branson, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, and is an international #1 best-selling author. Wow, brilliant. Peter, the title of our interview today is The Inside Track, and if you're ready, I'll start the clock.
As I said, born ready.
So what's the most practical thing someone can do to turn adversity into his or her advantage?
The first thing somebody should do is to stop resisting what's already happened. Most people spend their life complaining at stuff that doesn't fit their pictures, rather than invest that energy into thinking of a better solution to deal with whatever's not fit their pictures. And so, the most practical thing you can do is to stop resistance and put it into acceptance, and from there, pick a better strategy to move forward with. Otherwise, life's just going to continue to beat you down.
Right. And why are more and more people turning to podcasts and online learning instead of traditional sources?
Well, there's several reasons there. I'll cover the main ones. First is that traditional education today is virtually meaningless in the 21st century. And the reason that is it was never designed for 21st century living. It was designed to take a feudal system into a post-industrial revolution economy, whereby you had to show up, not question authority, not be creative, be obedient, and essentially press the right buttons that you were told to press so you didn't hurt anybody with this new machinery. Well, guess what? Creativity is what's going to save us now, not conformity. So, education doesn't serve the masses. It's like a government indoctrination camp that really teaches you two things: how to pass tests and work for somebody else. Right. So that's why traditional education is failing. Podcasts and online learning obviously are available free, but a reason why a lot of people are going for them is because we were never really taught how to read in school. We were taught to read with our ears, not our eyes. We were taught to sub-vocalize and say the words to ourselves and then listen to what we say in our head and then give it meaning. And that's like a 3-step process that'll put you to sleep, which is why most people read at night, to go to sleep and then can't remember what they read 3 times after they've read the same paragraph. So, learning how to read properly is a skill we were just never taught. If you're not reading at 800 words a minute with 80% recall and comprehension minimum, you don't know how to read. So podcasts are a far more engaging way because people have been trained to basically take information through their ears far faster off the page. That's really why I think online learning and podcasts have become more popular.
Brilliant. In today's world, what are a few things we can be certain about?
The only thing you can be certain about is the fact that the next 5 years are going to contain the exact same formula as all of the other 5-year periods of history dating back since the beginning of civilization. Because people say, oh, what's the future hold? I'll tell you, challenge and opportunity. Right? So if you're hoping that you're looking for certainty, then the only certainty you're going to have is the fact that there is no certainty in life or nature.
Right.
And so if you can understand that the greatest characteristic of successful people is the ability to handle uncertainty in an empowering way and not be thrown off track, because nobody knows what's around the corner. The river of life bends. And so you can be certain that however you think you're going to get your goals isn't the way it's going to happen, because that's in a linear fashion and there are no straight lines in nature. It doesn't work that way. So learning how to sail with the bends of the river of life rather than resist them or try to swim upstream is a far more empowering way of being able to deal with the fact that there is no certainty in life. Everything, by the nature of being physical, is subject to the law of impermanence.
Right. I love it. And we've just got a minute and a half to go. So if you were to give the listeners out there one bit of advice that they may not have heard before when it comes to living their potential, what would it be and why?
I think there's 2 things, and they probably have heard it because there's not really a lot of new information out there, but let me see if I can frame it in a way that really hits them where it means something. And that is that there's 2 steps in the maturation of the human psyche where people grow emotionally. Most people are emotional adolescents. They're walking around collecting a pension in an emotional teenage mentality. So the first thing I'd say is this: the first step of growing up emotionally is to get comfortable with the fact that you're okay not being liked. If you're not okay not being liked, you're going to spend your life being inauthentic, trying to fit everybody else's approval patterns of your projection of what you think their approval patterns are, which is usually not the case anyway. Yeah. And the second thing I would give in terms of the main advice is that life shifts in your favor when you realize it's a growth-centric experience, not a comfort-centric experience. And that would be my two biggest pieces of immediate information advice on people to go live their life of their dreams.
Brilliant. So growth and being opposite to comfort, that means you constantly got to push yourself out of your comfort zone.
Correct. If you know what a comfort zone was, you don't need to be too keen to jump out of it. It's something consistent with your potential.
Brilliant. And bang on time. Peter, really appreciate that. Folks, for more resources, check out Peter's website, www.petersage.com. Peter, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, Shane. And keep doing what you're doing. It's an amazing little podcast. Love it.
Thank you. Thanks for checking out our Summit Scale podcast. If you like what we're doing here, please head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate us and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. And if you want to learn more about the work we do or are looking for a load of free resources to help with scaling your business, check out our website, www.summitleader.com.